One of the most successful and consistent Hollywood franchises is back with a new installment, but does it live up to expectations? What's good, everybody? It's your boy TJ, and today we're going to be doing a non-spoiler review for Scream 6. I was able to watch this movie last week, so I've had a few days to marinate my thoughts, and I'm going to try my best to not hint at anything or give any type of spoiler thought. It's gonna be tough, but I think I can manage. Also, do not try to comment asking for spoilers, because you know I'm not gonna answer it. Come on, y'all. You know this. And also, too, please do not post any spoilers in the comments, because that shit's not cool. The first thing I want to mention is, of course, the traditional Scream opening, and I actually place this opening sequence as the second best in the Scream franchise. I'll tell you right now, nothing will beat the opening of the first Scream movie. Not only is the scene iconic when it comes to Scream lore, I'm talking about this is one of the coldest openings in movie history. But I will say that the opening for Scream 6 is definitely the second best because you get such a great moment of suspense and terror. And for the people who love gore, there's a lot of that too. So the film follows the core four as they move to New York and they try to start a new life after dealing with the trauma from the previous film. I really love what they did with Sam and Tara and the dynamic between the two sisters, and it's very realistic. You got Tara, who's young and, you know, wants to have fun and start a new life, but on the other side you got Sam, who's the big sister, very overprotective, and it all just felt very real. And of course we have Mindy and Chad, our favorite twins, who have a lot more to do this time around, especially Chad. Mason Gooding did a hell of a job this time around because they got to explore the character a lot more than in the previous film. And I honestly feel like Chad is a big standout for Scream 6. We do get some new characters, and although they did well in their role, it still really feels like the majority of the film revolves around the core four. But of course, we get the return of Kirby, played by Hayden Panettiere, who is a big fan favorite amongst the Scream fans. And she was amazing. I loved seeing that the character joined the FBI after what happened in Scream 4, which, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, if someone attacks you and tries to kill you, you kind of want to prevent that from happening to others. The really big change this time around was that instead of the movie taking place in Woodsboro, it's in New York City. And I know when that was announced, a lot of fans were like, how are you going to take Scream out of Woodsboro? But rest assured, it is amazing with what they did with New York City because it makes a lot of the attacks and the scenes a lot more tight, right? Like, for example, this isn't a spoiler, in the trailer, the subway scene. You can't do that in Woodsboro, right? And when you're in a subway, you feel like you're trapped and you ain't got nowhere to go. And I ain't gonna lie, Scream 6 kind of made me scared to go down alleyways again. And when it comes to that bodega scene, even though they showed it in the trailer and I'm sure there's a clip online, it is still just as suspenseful as you would think on the big screen. And to the people who complained about, oh, Ghostface has a shotgun, he has a gun, at the end of every movie, every Ghostface has a gun anyway, so who cares? So I want to answer this question that's been asked a lot on TikTok and Twitter. How was Gale Weathers? I will say that when we're introduced to Gale in this movie, it does feel kind of out of nowhere, right? Like, of course, what are the odds that Gale's there? But that scene where Gale receives her first Ghostface call, which I didn't even realize she's never had one, I honestly think that that is my favorite Gale Weathers Scream scene out of the whole franchise. So I mentioned this in my out of theater reaction. The third act was weak in my opinion. I wasn't really a fan of who they revealed to be Ghostface. It's like the first 2/3 of this movie was just brilliant, and then the reveal just kind of made me go, really? Don't get me wrong, it makes sense, but I guess it just wasn't who I wanted it to be. I don't even want to tell you if it's someone that you would expect or not, because that's almost kind of like a spoiler when we're talking about whodunits. And the third act is definitely really my only complaint. I had a hell of a time with Scream 6. I think Scream 6 was a great follow-up to Scream 5, which they acknowledged that was pretty much like a ripoff of the first film. Scream 6 does a great job in setting itself apart, and it is nothing like you would expect. I feel very safe saying that if you are a fan of the Scream franchise, you will love Scream 6. Overall, I think Scream 6 is the scariest, most violent, and most suspenseful entry in the franchise yet. And although it has a questionable third act, which I would love to get more into detail if I was talking about spoilers, because there are some things that I wish happened to certain characters, I still feel very comfortable giving Scream 6 an 8 out of 10. Now, the $1,000,000 question that a lot of people have been asking me, what is your Scream ranking? So there are 6 of them, and I enjoyed all 6, so whatever is in number 5 and number 6, don't take it as like I don't like it, it's just kind of weaker in my opinion. So if your favorite movie is number 6 or number 5, do not be in the comments and trying to give me a hard time, because chances are I still like the movie. All right, so at number 6, we're gonna go Scream 3. At number 5, we're gonna go Scream 2, which I know a lot of people like and they think is underrated. Still number 5 for me. We're gonna switch it up. At number 1, of course, is the first Scream. Duh. At number 2, this may be a shocker, but I'm gonna go with Scream 4. You know, I really like the Ghostface reveal. I liked the cast. I like the overall story. So shout out to all my Scream 4 fans. So that leaves out Scream 5 and 6 with spots 3 and 4. I'm probably gonna put Scream 5 at spot 4. Which is crazy because when we got out of the screening, I was like, I definitely like Scream 5 more than Scream 6. Even though I had my gripes with the third act with Scream 6, that first 2/3 of the movie was just insane. So there you go. Scream 1, Scream 4, Scream 6, 5, 2, 3. Let me know in the comment section below if you're excited for Scream. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I'll catch you next time.